Hello everyone, and how are you on this Saturday? I hope you're all well, hope you're having a lovely start to the weekend, whatever you're up to. I thought I would join you today for a lovely craft along. It's just me, and I've got the lovely Jamie in my ear. So I would say come and say hi to us, but as you probably know, this is a pre-record, so we're putting it out to you, so we're not live, but someone on socials is in the comments, so if you do want to get chatting amongst yourselves, you want to talk about anything relating to the collection that we're going to be showing you today, or chatting amongst yourselves, then make sure you do, because it's a community that everybody absolutely loves. Today we are going to be looking at the Gilded Age, which is Sara's newest signature collection, which is absolutely stunning. The first thing you'll notice when I show you the collection is she wanted to have a collection, especially because it came out in birthday, so just a couple of weeks away, a couple of weeks before. She wanted something that had that purple theme running through it, so I think she's got purple running through her veins, so she wanted that to show in our 20th birthday for the Sara signature. So I'm going to show you all the components that we've got. Head to the website, you will be able to find them on there and shop at your delight. But you might already have it, which is why we do these craft alongs, because we want to make sure that you've got the education afterwards to show you how to put it together. And today we are going to be making this beautiful card. So I wanted to have a card that looks lovely on the outside, so whether you have it like this or you have it sideways, but then when you open up the front part, it pops that teacup out, but it is an actual card. I've also just put a sentiment on the doily on the back, so you've just got somewhere to write your name. We'll try and get time to do the back of the card, but if we don't, then you'll know what I've used. But we do have a shopping list before we start, just to get you all started. So these are the things you need to collect together to make this card. So the Sara signature, the Gilded Age, you're going to need, now I've used a 6x6 paper pad because that's all I actually had with me at the time, but if you want to use your 12x12, you can absolutely do that. It's the linen cardstock, the pop-up tea party die, the lace doilies dies, and the Sip Hooray Stamp Set. I've also used some oval nesting dies, some white cardstock, some crushed velvet quick drying ink pad, and some gems, and then just some extra items that you're going to need. And obviously that's your normal toolkit with your Gemini, Scoreboards, Guillotine, stamping platform, Tacky Glue, and a tape pen. So while you're getting all those bits together, I'm just going to show you what's in this range, because it's a lovely big range, is beautiful, and there's lots to it. I love this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. You've got a die that makes the whole teapot, and then you've got the stencils to put inside as well, so that's a great one to have. This one I think everybody needs, so even if you've not gone for this range, go for this die, because it's a die and stamp set. It means you can personalise all that bunting. You've got the lowercase and the uppercase of the alphabet. You're going to absolutely love that one. That is one I'm going to be using all the time, especially that stamp set. It's amazing. Then we've got the pop-up tea party. So this is all the components that are coming with the actual design. So you've got everything on there, and then you've also got, trying to find the actual pop-up tea party die. Oh, that's weird. So they're all the components. Oh, is that the one? That is the one, sorry. So that is the pop-up. It's because it's been cut out separately. There we go, but it pops up in the middle. But we're going to be using that, so we'll show you how to do it. You can tell Jamie's got this. He's keeping me right. He's going, I think it's the one on top. I love this one. I used this in the week when we were using it on the swing dies. So it's a lovely teacup to colour in. That's a stamp and die set. Then you've got your beautiful tea bag here, which I love. So it's your time tea for two warm hugs. So you can put whatever you want on there. And then you've got your little labels for the little tea bag holder that comes out of the top. You also got your tea bag, stamp die and stencil as well, so that all comes together. Got an amazing stamp set which we're going to be using as well, so it's got lots of really good sentiments in there, so including there is always time for tea, enjoy your special day, happy birthday, friends or flowers I pick you, to a wonderful friend, lots and lots of beautiful ones. This one is going to be hugely popular. You're going to be using it on lots of things. It is a nesting die in its own right, but it is a beautiful doily die, and that looks absolutely stunning. You've also got a teacup die and stencil as well. So this one you can actually use to make a 3D cup of tea, which is amazing. So if you want to put some treats in there, some tea bags, chocolates, whatever you want, that's going to look amazing. Sara has done this one before, so if you just type in the Gilded Age, it will come up with different demos, and the launch show as well that Sara did. We've then got the lilac 2D embossing folder, so beautiful design on there, which looks absolutely stunning. We've also got some amazing papers. We've got our paper pads, which is your linen cardstock in all those different different colours, which are all going to match the amazing colours in the paper pads, which are truly magnificent. This paper pad is rich and vibrant and has the most amazing scenes in here. Takes you to a whole new world. It is so beautiful, so rich in the colours. Dimension on these are beautiful, and then on the backs of them they've got almost the muted version of them. They're just stunning, absolutely stunning. That's your 6x6 which we will be using, and then you're getting your 12x12 as well, which obviously is a scaled up one of your 6x6. But look at these. I mean, if ever there was like it almost reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. It's like going to the tea party, isn't it, with the Mad Hatter's tea party. It's absolutely stunning. The colours are vibrant, they're deep and rich and absolutely gorgeous. And then the backgrounds of them, look at that muted colour. So if you didn't want such vibrancy, you just go for the more muted designs on the back. So that's your whole collection. Head to the website, you'll be able to find it there. But we're going to get started on the first bit of our card, because what I wanted to do is design a card that you could open the front of rather than opening the middle section. I wanted the whole card to be on the front and in display is what I'm saying. And what I mean by that is when someone gets a card like this, they would put it on their windowsill or on their bookshelf or on their window, wherever they want to put it, and it would sit like that, so you wouldn't see the beautiful pop out on the inside. So I didn't want to put it on the inside. I wanted it so you've got your freestanding card, and then when it's standing, people will see your teacup on the front. So I thought for me that was really important to do. So we're going to start by doing the first part of our card. So we're going to do it in two parts. We're going to do the back and we're going to do this front version. So what we are going to do is bring in some white cardstock, and we're also going to bring in our guillotine. So let's just pop all this to the side, bring in our first sheet of card. I am going to pop my glasses on, and we are going to trim this down to 7 inches by 10 inches. So let's put the foot out, and then we're going to go to 10 inches. So right to there, trim that one down, and we're going to turn that round and come to 7 inches. So 7 inches, so 10 by 7. So that's your first piece. So the next thing we want to do is to bring in another piece of card, and we are going to do this one to 7 inches. So bring that to the 7-inch mark. Now we want to, this is going to go on the back of our card, so this one is 7 inches as well, but we want to do it slightly smaller than 5 inches. So I would say 4 3/4 plus then half of your little square. So, and the reason we're doing that is because when we fold our card over, the crease in the card, so where it's folded, will actually make that slightly smaller. So this bit is the back piece of card, which will be just slightly smaller than the rest. So we're going to pop that to the side, and then we're going to bring in our scoreboard. So just any scoreboard that you've got, let's bring our scoreboard in here. I'm going to pop these pieces to the side. Don't throw these pieces away yet, because we're going to use these to do our sentiment on later on. Now what we do want to do is we want to use now our 7 by 10 inch piece of card, take in our scoring tool. We're going to score this at 1 3/4 inch. So 1 3/4. Now this piece is your tab that you're going to attach to this piece, okay? So then the next one we want to do is we want to then score at 1 centimetre, and we want to do this. Oh, now have I put my measurements down? So let me just double check. So score. Oh yeah, 6 3/4. Can't even read my own writing. Look, so 6 3/4, and all we want to come in there is 1 centimetre at the side, and I'm then just going to take that 6 3/4 inch, run that down, and we're going to score the opposite side the same. So just a little mark. Now the reason we're doing this is because then when we take our die, so let's bring our teacup die in. This is the set we're using, which is your pop-up tea party. Now when we take all this one out, look at this. I mean, it's a fabulous die. You've got so much here, lots of metal for your money. When we pop this across here, there you can see, we don't want a score line going through the centre of them, because you could, if you wanted to, cut the papers out in this same die, but I don't want to do that. I want to leave this white underneath. So we're going to place this right in the centre, like so, and then we're going to cut out. But before we do, I want to bring in our papers. So I'm just going to bring in our paper pad, which is over here. I'm just going to check and see. Let me just grab that one. There we go. Now all you've got to do is choose what scene you want, and I quite like the fact that I use the 6x6. If you wanted to, you could always use your 12x12, but I'm going to choose a scene. So let's have a look, choose which one I had. It was this one here. So we're going to have this one like so, because what I wanted was this blue sky in the background. So I am going to place this onto here. So I'm going to have it so we've not got too much at the bottom, so more going at the top here. So around about there. So we've got about 1 centimetre all the way round on this white. Remember, my score line is there. In fact, I'm going to just burnish that so you can see that a bit better. So when we're placing this on, I want a similar amount of white around here to frame it, so it looks good. Now, I don't want to, well actually, no, we don't want to stick it down. And the reason we don't want to stick it down is because I don't want my teacups cut out of here. I just want the whole thing cut out. So we're going to use some low tack tape. Now, it's always my little tip with low tack tape is it can get a bit stickier when you put it through your machine. So I don't want it to tear my card. So I'm going to pop it on my wrist. I only do it on the back of my hand where it's clean, but the natural oils in your skin will take a little bit of tackiness away. So we're just going to place that like so. Going to pop just a little bit on each side, and then we're going to hover this over. That's why we had these lines, so we can guide those lines at the side. That way we know that that is completely straight where it needs to be. And then we're going to use our tape. You don't need to take any sticky off here, because I'm going to pop this through this centre, because we don't want the pattern on the cups here. So we're going to just take that one off, pop that down, and then we're going to run that through. So the shape of this card, you will need your A4 die cutting folders. So we're going to pop them on and run them through our machine. So because we have the power of the Gemini, that is going to cut all that detail through both those pieces, because actually our paper pad, I'm pretty sure, is a 180. Yes, 180 GSM, but I'm asking it to go through a 180 and a 300 GSM, so that's 480 GSM, but because we have the power of the Gemini, there we go, look, it's cut right the way through, so we've got all of that there. And the reason that I didn't want to die cut the whole thing stuck down, so let's just take all of this off, so you can see that now releases from those side pieces nice and easy, so I've got no tackiness. And it won't stick to your card because your card is pearlescent. So pearlescent cardstock is really good. It doesn't take any of the coating off of there. So we're going to take that off there, take our die out. So let me just remove the tape from the centre. That one there. And can we get that one out? There we go. Take that one away. So the only thing we can't do on a pre-record is obviously stop and start. So if you are crafting along live, don't worry, it just means that you can, and actually I'm pretty sure Jamie might be able to help. Can you stop, Jamie, and go back. So I think you can go back. So I've watched live before and missed the beginning of the show. So at the bottom, if you click on it, you've got a little bar at the bottom. I know on Facebook, and on Facebook they do the 10 seconds each side. So you can keep going back on there. So if you wanted to re-see what you've got, then you can absolutely do that. Oh, yes, or Jamie's saying watch it once and then re-watch it later, which is brilliant advice. Right, so what we're going to do now is we want to snip out where the cup is. So this gives me my whole piece here. Can you see? That's where it would pop out naturally. If I put it that way, you'll be able to see. And we're just going to trim that out. So I'm going to take that section from there, and then we're going to do the same. So you can fold it back and then you can just trim that piece out, because I actually want to keep my my cup. Would have helped with my little snips actually, but I've got my big ones nearby, so we'll use that. And then we're going to do the same with the teapot. So just take the teapot, trim that one right at the top, there we go, and then fold that one back like so and trim that one out. So it's nice and easy because we're guided by the lines that have already been popped in. So there we go. So that now is going to give me my perfect overlay, exactly where I need it to be. So what I am going to do first of all is we are going to make sure that all our pieces are cut and ready to pop forward. I'm not going to pop them forward until we've done the gluing of this section. So I would say it's probably easier to use a wet glue at this point because it gives you a bit more wiggle room. So I've got my little intricate bottle, so let me just bring that in, take my pin out there. And then we're going to go around all the edges. So it's just a case with that little intricate bottle. I'm doing the edges first. This is Tacky Glue that we've got in here. If you wanted to use your tape pens, you absolutely can. I just think this allows you to have a little bit of wiggle room and know that you've got that precision of where you want it. So just bring in all of that in there. And I like the intricate little fine tip nozzle because you know that you get precision of where you put your glue. So a little bit more. Yeah, and you don't, as right Jamie just said, you don't use as much either, so little is best with Tacky Glue. So you can see that will go straight back into where we need it to go and it will stick beautifully. So all we're going to do is make sure that we've got that stuck down, and then I'm going to turn that over and just use my scoring tool to burnish that down. So every part of that will be stuck exactly where we need it to go. There we go. Right, so I am just going to leave this just to dry for just a few seconds more because I don't want to bend anything, and then because Tacky Glue is a wet glue, it just needs a little bit of time to dry a little bit more. So you don't need to rush this bit at all. What I don't want to do is then start popping the centerpiece out and it become unstuck. So just making sure that's done. Ideally, what I would do at home is maybe put a heavy book on there or something that will flatten it down, leave it to dry for about 5 minutes. That's all you would need, and then it'll be ready to go. But because we're on sort of time here, we're going to pop this out. Now, such a simple design. So you can see, go underneath, put your fingers where your teapot is and your other fingers here, push in forward, and as you push forward, these will naturally want to push out. So all that's going to do is push my teacup out. I'm checking all the time that this line here is keeping straight. So as you move that forward, there you go, you can see that perfectly. And then I'm just going to fold in those edges, still making sure that these are kept straight. I'll do it to the front there so you can see, and as that goes forward, that will fold beautifully. So it's so easy to do and looks really effective. So let's just fold all of those sections. So that now gives us our pop out straight away. Look at that. So nice and easy, and you've got those beautiful papers in the background. So we're now going to refold that top part like so. And then the piece that we trimmed out, which I put somewhere safe, here we go. This piece is going to go onto the back here. So that will act as your card. Now, can you see, because we've done it just slightly smaller, it fits now perfect across there. So all we're going to do is make our card by popping that together. And then this section here, I'm just going to bring my tape pen in and we're going to stick this one down. So actually, sometimes we sort of think the pop-out bit is sort of the thing that's going to take the longest. It's actually very quick to do and really easy when you've got your papers in place, because you haven't got to mess around with doing those papers and you've got something that looks amazing straight away. So there we go. We've actually done our card. I mean, there we go. That's how it's going to look, and it's going to look beautiful. Yeah, all done. Lovely. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. I'm joking. Got a long way to go yet. Now, what I wanted to do was make sure that we had something for the front here. We're going to decorate our teapot and our cup. And also, I wanted something when you fold it up that this looks nice as well, because that doesn't look too nice to just send to somebody. So we're going to do all our trimmings now. I'm going to just pop my pin back in my glue, and then we're going to do our mats and layers. So this time we're going to bring in our, where is it, linen cardstock, which I've popped somewhere, there it is. So bring in our linen cardstock. I would say any of these pages are going to, or any of these colours are going to look lovely with whatever you're doing them with. So if you want sort of the more purples, you can do purples. So let me just bring those in. So the purples would look really lovely. In fact, shall we do that? I did it with the dark. I did it with these purples. I'm going to do it with a contrasting colour, so you can see that all these colours work together. So let's do it with this one, because it's still the same pad that you are using. So we're going to trim to start off with. Let me get my my bits right. So we're going to start with 6 3/4 by 3 1/4. So let's bring in our guillotine. And then we're just going to trim to 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 6 3/4, like so. And then we're also going to do another piece to 1 1/2. So this one is 1 1/2. Actually, I think, yeah, let's do the shorter end, 1 1/2. Oh. There we go, just can't see the end there. There we go. And that one is to 6. Let me just double check. 6 3/4, of course. We've just done a 6 3/4, so we're going to do another 6 3/4. So those two pieces. So one piece will be on the front. So this piece is going to go directly onto here. Actually, it looks like, so I did that by 7, which is weird. I must have, did I do that a bit? Oh, I've done it by 7. That's why I think that's really strange. So let me, there, 6 3/4. I did it by 7, didn't I? And let me just double check on there. Yes, there we go. So we've got that perfect lay down there. Looks like a little bit more could come off of there. So just a tiny bit more. There we go. And then this one is going to be the one for the step on the inside. So this will go across there, like so. So we've got those two. Now we want our papers. So again, bring in your paper pad and just choose ones that are going to complement. So any of them are going to look nice. So I'm just going to take one out of here and we're going to choose these. So this one is going to be a strip for the bottom here. So I'm going to do this to, that was 1 1/2, so we're going to do 1 1/4. So 1 1/4 inch strip. Oh. And that will go in the centre, so just like so, which is going to go onto this piece here, which will be your bottom piece. And then we want one for the next one, so I'm just going to use the same one for here. So let's do those nice lanterns there. So we did this one to, let me just see, 3 1/4, so we want 3 inches, yeah, 3 inches. So 3 inches on that one. And that one will go onto the front. Oh, and we trim that a little. My one's just a slight bit smaller, so I'm just going to trim a little bit more off of there to go onto there. So let's stick those ones into place. So we're doing all our sticking as we go along. So let's just have these ones and pop those onto here. So again, I am just using a tape pen. I know that our tape pens are super strong, so they're going to last with your cards. So we're just going to, and if you wanted to, because I've used the 6x6, if you wanted to take it more to the edges here, I quite like having that wide border at the side, but if you wanted to use your larger paper pad, then absolutely. Like I said, I've only used these ones because the 6x6 pad was all I had at the time. So we're just going to place that one into the middle section there. There we go. Halfway already, Jamie. Where is the time going? Lovely timing though. So we're going to place this onto here. So this is going to be our section. What I also want to do, I want to tie in this top bit. So all I want to do is to cut a really small amount. And all this does, it's not really needed. It's just, you know, when you're looking at something and feel like it just needs something else to elevate it. So all I want is just one little strip. And this one is just going to go onto the top here like so. And the reason I wanted it like that, so it ties in with the bottom strip because we've got that, we haven't got a matte and layer on here. So I wanted to tie in this bottom strip, but also, so if I bring this one in, you can see I've got a darker one here to tie in with the bottom. And then it's just almost like it's a little border that holds our bunting on the top there. So yes, absolutely bringing it together, Jamie. So we're just going to stick these ones in place. And then we're going to do our stamping and our embellishments. So let's pop that one in there. How lovely are these papers? They're just so beautiful. You'll find lots of snippability in these to be creative with. I love the sceneries, think they look absolutely amazing. Just going to grab a little scrap of paper because I want to put my dotty tape pen onto this one. So just that one there. And that one, and then we can pop that along the top. There we go. So just add in that little border to finish that top piece off. And then this piece here, now because I'm sticking this over, what this will also do, act as a little plinth at the bottom there, so you can't sort of see through it, which just makes it look a little bit nicer. But because of that, what I want to do is make sure that we're not sticking the back of this card, we're sticking this card. So what I am going to do is we're going to go around the edges of this one. Oh, there we go. Let's get my glue back into place. We're going to go around the edges like there. But on the rest, this will go onto here, but I want to make sure that I've got some glue around the actual design. So let's take our little glue bottle and just go around those edges. So just like so. And then I know that that's going to stick perfectly. And there. And then we'll just put a little bit in the middle like so. So that gives me a really good stick all the way round and with your intricate die cuts as well. So that will go, and in fact we'll lay that flat. And then I know I can get that right where we need it to go on that corner, like so, which gives me a little bit of a white rim all the way round. And then we're just going to take our scoring tool and just make sure that we burnish that all down. So then that way, when we fold up our card, we've now got that beautiful front piece as well, which will then fold out. Right, so we are cooking along nicely, or brewing, I should say. We're brewing along nicely, aren't we? Right, so we've got all those pieces. I'm actually, if I can find a Gemini, I can't find one now. We had one yesterday and now I can't find one. Where have they disappeared to? We did, and what I'm looking for is a Gemini mini folder. There's one over here, so I'm just going to go and grab it. Here we go. So I've got Gemini mini folder because when you come to doing your little embellishments, this is a handy, really handy little one to have. So we've got these flowers here, which is what the ones that we're going to use. You've got different flowers and you've got some leaves, but we're going to use the 3 flowers and the little leaves here. Now you can use these little dies if you wanted to. I was just going to put gems in the middle of my flowers. So we've got these ones, and you've got lots of biscuits on here as well. We're not using the biscuits because I thought we would just use the normal sort of dies, not the biscuits. So, and then I want to do the edges. So this one is the handle. We've got then the piece here. And then we've got this one, which is all your little pieces, which are going to decorate your teacup. And then the only other one we want to do, and we're going to do this out of white cardstock, and that one is your bunting. So I am going to just trim these about 3 inches because that will then fit through my Gemini Mini. And we're going to die cut these out. So let's just pop them on there. Going to pop them into here. And we're going to cut out a few of those because I want my flowers to have two for every flower. So let's just, we don't need our leaves and we just need these ones. So I'm just going to pop them on there. And that one, going to be quite frugal to use my papers here. Pop that on top and then run them through. Let's just move that down so you can see that a little bit better. So I'm going to run that through and back again. I always do that double cut just to make sure, though it's not really needed, so I don't know why I do that. Yeah, I think I've done it as, so Jamie saying, I was on about that on Thursday, it's just become a habit form. So I tend to sort of do it by habit now, just run it backwards and forwards. So we've got all our little pieces to decorate our teacups. I'm just going to pop them there. And then I am going to use my flowers again. So we're going to do these again. And then we're going to cut these, I think 4 times. So we've got 6, just to make enough flowers. So just gonna, and that's why I love the Gemini Mini, because you can literally just run them through in seconds. Oh, that one didn't come out. There we go, another one. Pop that on the side and run that one through as well. And these are the sort of, so the flowers, embellishments, that sort of thing, you could be making those as you go along. So if you want to do lots of them in different colours, you can absolutely do that. And they're going to look fabulous. That's probably enough, but just in case, I'm going to do one more. So we've got plenty then, and then I've done that 4 times, which means we can double up on our flowers. And then the only other thing I want to do is cut some leaves. So we'll do some leaves. So just pop in all of them ones out. There we go. And then I do have a little scrap of green here. So you've got some green in your pack. I am just going to rotate that, and I'm just going to bring in my little leaves. So let's do those ones. And we're going to do these a few times as well. Now, if you wanted to, might do it just to show you rather than just saying, if you just cut another piece of card, just cut a little bit of card, that can go on top. Now, the reason I'm doing this is to show you how you can emboss your detail in there. So we're just going to run that through, and by doing that, your actual detail will come through. So look at this. So I think, can we pick that up, Jamie? I'm not really sure if that picks up. Oh, hang on, let me turn that round. Yes, there we go. It is tiny, but look at that. You've actually got your embossed detail inside there. And all that means is you just put a little bit more pressure inside your die. So if you wanted to have that detail, and I do love adding extra detail, so it is worth doing. So just add another little bit of card on top, and then squeeze them through, and then that way you'll get your embossed detail on there. So I'm just going to do a couple more of those. Let's turn that round, just so we've got plenty of leaves to put. And this is going to decorate our cup and our teapot. Who loves a cup of tea? Let's get the cup of tea chat sorted. So yeah, what type of tea do you drink? Are you a posh tea drinker? Do you like your Earl Grey? Are you, Jamie? Oh, so Jamie likes Assam, is it? Did you say? Assam. Oh, Assam tea. Oh, nice. Well, it sounds nice. Although, it's really funny. So funny enough, I was talking, my son-in-law said to me the other day, because he's been with my daughter for years, and when they first met, no, it didn't actually. No, I must have told him the story, because I haven't drunk tea for 20 odd years. But I know, I used to be such a tea drinker, and like badly, like I couldn't go an hour without having another cup of tea. So yeah, that's it. And but then I went off tea and then just never drunk it again. I don't even like hot drinks, which is strange. But yeah, are you a tea or coffee drinker? And what is your choice? And what is your choice of coffee? Because there's so many. In fact, it's actually ridiculous the amount of coffees that there are now. There is so many coffees. My granddaughter Ruby come home the other day because they're staying at ours, and she said that she had her first Starbucks, so I've gone off coffee bit into drinks, and she mentioned something. I can't even tell you what it was called, but it was a certain drink, and I was like, what on earth's that? It had this really weird name, and I just didn't even understand what the name of it was. And my daughter couldn't even remember it, but Ruby remembered it because it's what she had, and she said it was lovely. But there are some very strange names to the tea. Now this little bit at the bottom, remember you've got a score line on there, so make sure you put it just above the score line, otherwise it's going to crease and just fall off. So that way when it moves, that doesn't move, it's just above the score line. So you'll do the same with the teacup as well. Oh no, we're not putting this on the teacup, that hasn't got one on the bottom, this has got one on the rim of the bottom. Now if you don't have any nails, luckily I've got some nails, and you wanted to apply this a bit more precisely, just use your tweezers, they're going to put them on beautifully. And then you've got two, so all of these cut out, you've got one longer than the other, so the smallest one is going to be the one for the rim around your teacup, and the other one is going to be around the rim for the lid of your teapot. So just make sure before you stick them down that you know where they're going. So we're just going to add that little bit more glue. And like we were saying before, less is more with your tacky glue. If you put loads of glue down, I mean, don't worry because it will dry clear, but the less is much better. So if you can get yourself some of these little intricate bottles of glue, the nozzle stops the glue coming out too quickly, and you just get a bit more precision. So that's going to go into there, and check all the time while you're doing this that it still opens and closes, so you're not sticking any little bit to your behind card. So once we've done that, we've got our little nozzle. So this is the little teapot holder, so we're going to place that on there as well, and then pop that into place so you can see it's really coming together beautifully. And then we've got one more bit here, which is actually not even sure what that bit's for. I don't think I've used that bit, so I wonder if that goes somewhere else. I'm sure it has a place, but I don't need that one, so yeah, that's weird. I don't know what that one's for. Right, now our flowers, so let's do these. So I'm going to double these up, which is why I wanted a few of them. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottoms of these and just pop these together. Also, Jamie's saying, what biscuit? We've had a lot of food chat this week, haven't we? We've had cakes because obviously it was Jamie's birthday on, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be honest actually, it's very, very weird. So it was Jamie's birthday Friday, but actually it's Jamie's birthday today because it's Friday today when we're doing our pre-records. So yeah, how funny that we are pretending it's not, where it is. So big happy birthday to Jamie. So which is yeah, lovely. He's 23, same age as my daughter, so it's a lovely age. Do you have a favourite age yet as well? Because my favourite age, have you had a good age yet, Jamie? Because my favourite age was when I was 20. Yeah, 20. I loved being 20. I can't even tell you why, but I think for me it was when I come out of my teens. I felt like a proper grown-up coming out of my teens. Okay, so Jamie's saying 21 when he first got his job, come out of education. Oh yeah, because you stayed, so I left school, Jamie, when I was 15 because it was just before my birthday. So my birthday was in June and we left in May once we finished our exams. So it was really, really strange that that nowadays you have to go into education until you're 18, so which we never did before. Oh, and then Jamie started his apprenticeship here, yeah, so how lovely. But yeah, I liked being 20. What was your favourite age? That's a good one as well. So favourite age, favourite tea, favourite coffee, favourite biscuit. I mean, it's going to be all food chat now, you know that, don't we, in the chat. So I'm just going to see, yes we have, we've actually got our gem glue. So I didn't put gem glue, you can use your tacky glue, just takes that little bit longer to dry, where your gem adhesive is really good for obviously your gems because it's a really sticky glue. So we're just going to put a little bit into each one. That you have got die cuts, so if you want to use your die cuts to do this, but I quite like a little bit of bling. So we're just going to pop that onto there. And move that one to the side. And then I bet, oh no, there is one as well. Gosh, I shouldn't really say that. I was going to say, I bet there's not one, but there is. There's actually a picky up, poke it down tool. So we are going to use that, picky up, poke it down, and I put it down the wrong way, the first one that I picked up. It's hard to see with the Aurora Borealis ones. So let's do another little one in there. And then I think we'll do a couple of bigger ones onto here. So one. Oh, there we go, that one and that one. There we go. Right, so we've done our little cute flowers. It's warm in the studio today. I did see, so we're recording this on yesterday. You're watching it today on Saturday. It's actually 15 degrees outside. Yeah, it's really warm today, and actually it's really warm because my glasses are steaming up and I'm getting a little bit sweaty. So right now what we're going to do is decorate our teacups. I am just going to switch my fan on so to give me a little bit of cooling down. So we're going to use these. So if you wanted to, you could use your papers, pretty papers onto here, but I wanted to leave these white and then I wanted to add my glue to stick these on with. So let's take our glue and we're going to place these onto here. Now I'm going to use the tacky glue because I actually want, I've just knocked my, knock the gem off. Let me just place that back on. There should be enough glue to hold that into place. Because I don't want to use a 3D glue that's going to make it bulky because obviously this bit is going to be folding over. So I want to make sure that we're not putting any bulk down on there. And then we're going to use some of those smaller ones, so just like so. So you can pop these wherever you want them to go, and then let's do a really diddy one. We'll pop that just at the bottom here and pop that there, like so. I'm just going to move my gems, there we go. And then we're going to use our leaves, and I'm still just going to use my fingernail to curl that up a little bit, and a few more. You can still shape these. They might go a little bit flat when it's down, but it just makes them look a bit nicer when you're shaping them and popping them into place. And then all you need to do is just add a little bit of glue on the bottom and tuck that underneath, like so. And they just create these really pretty little leaves under your flowers. So let's do another one. Under this one. And just put them wherever you want them to look nice on. And then we'll do one more, which we're just going to place under here. There we go, so that's given me my foliage. And then we're just going to use a smaller one. So we didn't need all our flowers, but it was nice to get them done. We can always use them on the front actually. I'm going to pop that there. And then we will add some little leaves. Actually, we've got two small ones there. Let's use the smaller leaves for that smaller one. So onto there. And don't worry about, because it's a wet glue, it will dry clear, so you've never got to worry about it getting anywhere. So tiny little bit on there, and one more leaf. There we go. Right, so make sure you pop these back out, so then when you're folding it, you know that it's all going to fold. And then we're going to do our, let's die cut our bunting. So going to just do the bunting so we can pop that inside. And then I think that allows us just a little bit of time to do some stamping with our sentiments. So I am just going to move these so I don't lose any of the dies. Let's pop that over there. Pop them ones to the side. And then bring that bunting in. And then I did want to just use a little bit more card. So I'm just going to have to trim off a bit of card. And I'm going to cut 3 bunting. So again, bring in my Gemini Mini. Pop that in the folder. And because we've got the Mini, well, I'll cut these out no time whatsoever. So run it through. And then move that over. I do love this machine. It's just so quick. It's just, yeah, the mighty Mini, I like that. That's incredible, yeah. It is definitely, it's the one I use all the time. I mean, can you tell I use it all the time because I am quite quick with the Mini. I just love it so much, and it is one that I do use all the time. So while actually I've still got that out, what I am going to do is I'm going to use, let's use another piece of card that I've just cut. And on the shopping list, I did tell you that there was some nesting dies that you wanted to use. So I'm just going to grab those. They are, let me have a look, these oval ones that come out not that long ago actually. And we're going to use these, so let me just check that I'm using the right one. It's the next one up, so it's the 3rd one up, which is this one here. Just double checking. Yes, so we want 3 of these. Did I do that one? Sorry, 2 of those ones, and then we're going to also cut this out of our purple. So we'll pop that one, which is the next size up. So it's number 3 and 4 from the centre. Let me just grab my scissors. Let's just do that one. Trying to be quite frugal with my papers, and then I'll cut that one as well. There we go. So that one like so. So let's cut these ones. And I am just going to do one at a time because it actually is quicker just to run them through rather than try and put them all on the platform, because then it doesn't take too long to do, or you've got to be careful as if it moves and putting your folder over. So we're literally just going to run these ones through. And then we're going to do the smaller ones as well. Let me just rotate this one. There we go. So can be quite frugal with this one. And then move that along. So although I know we're doing this in real time and I seem to be speed crafting with this, it is just your die cutting, so you can take that little bit less time to get them all done. Yeah, pause, rewind, or watch back. So yes, absolutely. Right, so we've got all our pieces here. So what I want to do is bring in our sentiments. We've got our bunting as well. So our bunting is going to go at the top of our card. So that will be stuck into place, just like so. And then we're going to bring our stamping platform in, or whatever you've got at hand to do your stamping with. So let's bring this one in. Now, because this one I can stick them to the actual design, we can do these together. And I'm also going to be using a crushed velvet quick drying ink, which I didn't get myself, so I'm just going to grab now. There we go. And we're going to choose our sentiments. So let's just grab our sentiments. We'll find them. There we go. And just choose which ones you want. So I've used the Sip Hooray, so we're going to use that one on one of them. And use sentiments that will go together. So the other one I've done is Time to Celebrate. So Sip Hooray, Time to Celebrate, which I thought is really nice for like a birthday card or a tea party, or it could be a bridal shower, anything like that. So we're going to use our quick drying. I love the quick drying inks for stamping, just for that fact that they are quick drying, and it means you can go over them if you want to. And just, I think ours are drying out in the studio. It is very hot, yeah, and they do get used an awful lot, so actually lasting very well. So just pop those down. There we go. Might just do that. That looks like the darker colour. It is Damson Wine. Yeah, it's the wrong lid to... Oh, I don't know what I was doing there. I was stamping there because that's where the stamp was. It's all right though, that will go. That will match anyway. So I quite like the Damson Wine. So let's just take those ones up. There we go. There is lots, you're right Jamie, actually there's lots of different purple tones. So let's pop that one to the side, pop my lid on. I'm going to leave that out though to remember to try and find the correct one. Right now we're going to pop these on top of here. So we've got our two. I had two. What have I done with it? Did I drop one? Is it under here? There it is. There it is. We're good. We've got it. Right, let's just stick these into place. And I am just going to keep them flat. If you wanted to, you can put your foam pads. But I am just going to keep these flat. So then the whole card, in fact, is flat, and it means that you can send it out as well to somebody. So we're just going to pop this onto here. There we go. There. So we're going to have one here, which will be your time to celebrate, and Sip Hooray is going to go up here. Now I'm going to stick this one down, but the one at the top I'm going to wait until I put my bunting on, because I don't want to put that down and then my bunting to cover. So we're just going to place that one onto here like so, and then our Sip Hooray, I'm going to leave that one and just stick my bunting down first. So just bring in a scrap piece of card, and we're going to use our dotty take pen to put our dots down on this one. So each one, there we go. It does look a little bit like a wedding card, and actually it would be, oh, I love that idea. It could be a Jubilee card, yes. How many years do you have to have a Jubilee? Because the only Jubilee I can remember is the silver Jubilee. So does it start from silver? Now there's a question. I don't actually know the answer to that. So is it a case of it's silver, gold? Isn't there? Didn't we have a platinum? Oh, so we have got a long time before there is another. Ah, so silver is the first. So I think the silver Jubilee was in about, I want to say 70, was it 76 or was it before that? It's got to be around 70 something. When was the Queen's Silver Jubilee, Jamie? I can't believe I've forgotten. 77, 76 I said, so I said around that time. So I remember it because I got dressed up. We had a big, we had a field behind us, and we had a big Jubilee party, and it was amazing. And I was dressed up, my mum dressed me up as a bride doll in a box. Don't know where she got that idea from, but she wanted to do red, white and blue. So I was white, yeah, so I had this box like that over the top of my head. I was dressed as a bride, so I had a bride white dress on with a veil, and then the box had red, white and blue crepe paper around it. So I was like this bride doll in a box. It was really cool. I felt like the best person in the world in this bride's dress, which was amazing. But there you go. How are we doing for time? Are we good for time? Oh, we've got about 5 minutes. So actually, let me just cut that doily for you as well, because, and then we can show you what I did with that one, because this doily is absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to take this one here. So you've still got another 4 other dies. In fact, you've got 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 other dies in there. Oh, I've used that. Well, oh, it's not going to, look at that. I could have been a bit more frugal and then it would have worked. So I don't want to do another piece. So I'm just going to use that, and you'll be able to see it. Just have a little bit missing at the side. You're not going to worry about that. You'll get the concept of it, because I just want to show you how beautiful this doily die is. And then I'll show you my finished one, which I've used on the back of our card. It's just a really beautiful, intricate die, which looks amazing. I would say if you want to make little coasters out of these, cut a few of them out, put them all on top of each other and spray it with our green spray and shine, and they will look absolutely amazing as little coasters. So let's pop that to the side. Just going to pull that one out. Oh, look, you can't even notice it. Oh, I actually think it's fitted. Look, it fitted. There we go. How good is that? So what I did do was that little piece does not want to come out. There we go. Look at that for a die, it's beautiful. And because we still have a little bit of time, I am just going to do the sentiment as well, because that did cut out, which I didn't think it was going to. I'm going to take that piece of card, we're going to take the inner circle part and die cut this one out. So that's onto here. There we go, really nice, useful nesting circle. I mean, did you get your nesting dies yesterday? Although it's today. It's so strange, isn't it, having to say that and pretend that we're in the day. Well, we're not pretending. You know that we're on a pre-record. And I love that we can still come to you at the weekend and have the weekends off, if I'm honest. So although it's lovely, it's really nice to get some home time at the weekend. I will be busy today, even though you think I'm here. I'm going to be busy at home sanding down my work surfaces because they're in need of being re-varnished, so I need to get that done. So what we're going to do with this one is find another stamp set. I'm going to take these ones off like so, and then we're just going to grab another one. So I'm going to use one of these ones. So let's do, I'm going to use this one. This is beautiful. And this is May Your Day Be As Charming as Afternoon Tea. How nice is that? So pop that on there. Let's pick that up where there's not no ink. Stamp this one. And this is going to give us this beautiful sentiment at the back. So just going to stamp that another time. Made a real mess today, Jamie. I am normally quite clean, yeah, so you can let me off today. And that is going to fit perfectly inside there. I am going to, because otherwise I'm going to have a purple ink jumper if I don't be careful. And I've still got to work today. So you will see, you won't see us, you would have seen us yesterday on the new launch of the nesting dies as well. So, which is fabulous. Yes, with a purple ink jumper. So we're going to pop that right in the centre. And then just use a scrap piece of card. Let's pop this. I didn't think we were going to have time to get this done, so I'm so pleased. So this one is going to just go on the back of our card, which just finishes off. If you wanted to put a sentiment here, you can, but I just wanted to do this bit here to finish off the back of our card. There we go. I think you'll agree that just finishes that off beautifully. If you did want to as well, you could just put another piece of card to hide your markings there, but you haven't got to worry too much. There we go. If I just pop that down to the front, I'm going to bring my other one in because we did this in a darker colour. I think it's nice to show actually 2 different colours. I quite like that pink one. It looks amazing. But I like the darker one as well. So I think actually the pink one is almost like a younger type of card. It looks like for a younger person. And the other one looks like for a more worldly person. comparison, doesn't it? Or more sophisticated. I want to say the right terminology for that. So, but whatever tea that you drink, whatever coffee you have to drink, I hope you enjoy making this as much as I did. It's a super easy card to do. Lovely one to do your pop out to as well. So have fun. Have a brilliant Saturday. Don't forget to come back because we do have Make It Saturday and it'll be myself and Ben. So it's going to be all about those Gemini machines, which is going to be amazing. So have a lovely weekend, everybody, and I will see you here. I'm back on Thursday, so I will see you then. Bye for now.